Engaged.
We are live. We thought we were live earlier, but it was
But
a
we
mistake.
don't know what we're doing.
Welcome everybody.
It's kind of a crapshoot every day, Mike.
We have Michael VA3MW. I don't know what that stands for. He also has a US call sign, but I didn't bother. It took up too much space on the thumbnail.
It annoys the crap out of me. It's Kilo Echo 2 Echo Alpha Foxtrot. It's like changing your name. It's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I won't change my call sign because I've said it too many times now. And it'll be wrong every time after that, right? So Michael's going to talk to us about his new, Flex's new radio. But we're going to, once I get these guys out of here, we're going to go around the room here and ask Jim. Jim, you put out, 12 videos today? Or was it only 10?
I don't know. I kind of lost count.
I did too.
He upset some of the OMs and Toads.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Some feelings were hurt because they were getting spammed. And I'm like, okay, don't watch. Go do something else.
What else you doing?
I'll check with them next time. I got me
a holiday.
I'm off today. My daughter, I got to go pick up my kid tonight. Mm-hmm. She's spending the rest of the weekend here. We'll go driving. She's 14, so it's driving practice every time she's over. We're almost up to 40 miles an hour without me having a coronary. But
really, what's driving age in Alabama?
16.
16? Okay.
I didn't know you even need to get a license in Alabama. I thought it was just
you have to get a license in Alabama. I was driving when I was like 12. My mom would take me out in the county.
You're on the farm though.
We drive
when you're driving her home from the American Legion.
That's right. Oh, we lost Mike again.
Okay, so we'll warn everybody. I'm here. It will come back.
Yes.
We have Mike's audio, but
yeah, we do have audio. Ape, what have you been? You've got. I don't know if you want to. You put out a video today, and I hear you put some guy to sleep 3 times. I don't know how he did.
That comment wasn't from that video. It was from another one.
Oh, it wasn't? Oh, okay.
Yeah, some video that I've got on DMR that's been like super duper popular. All these people are like, "Oh my God, it's so good. Thank you." And he was like, "This video sucks. I fell asleep 3 times." And I just asked him. I said, "Well, all these other people in the comments liked it. I wonder where the problem is." You know, right. And he probably got that TikTok brain.
Maybe he didn't understand it. You know,
who knows?
It was over his head.
That's right, Jeff.
What you want to get some of the business done, or you want to wait, James?
We have a member milestone.
We're waiting on Michael's camera.
We have a member milestone chat that
I'm going to come in on another computer.
Okay.
Keep the audio here. So we'll see how that works.
I had started, but I can't see the starred comments. They're not showing up.
What? Well, that one comes up big anyhow.
Wayne had a member milestone chat, and Wayne has been a member for some amount of time, but I cannot find there it is.
They don't post it. Oh, there they go.
Well, there used to be a starred because it would star those, and then you can click over to starred and see all the starred comments.
We just had a lot of chat after that. That's all.
It's the damn iterative development.
Exactly right. Freaking programmers. You can insert the appropriate F word there. Wayne, thank you for being a member of Coffee and Ham Radios for the last 10 months. And you're not going to win the Aurora. I've got an in. Just saying.
Yeah, Ape doesn't have his
Jeff has been a member for 26 months. Ape is wearing his favorite hat, Jeff.
Yeah, I got the Yaesu hat here. I almost put it on, but I didn't want to wear the Yaesu hat with the Flex guy. And
that's right.
Yeah,
the Flex guy, you know how he's got a tight grip on those Flex hats. We all know that's
you can't get a hat from those guys.
You can't get a hat. You buy a radio and
even if you buy a radio,
2 radios, an amp, and a tuner, and I still don't got a Flex hat.
Well, Poutine Paul saying he saw a great short on how carbon fiber masks don't affect antennas. I hope you reported that as spam and fraudulent.
That's right.
Do you want to hear my world of carbon fiber?
Yes.
And antennas?
Sure. Tell us.
So let's see. I got dragged into a big commercial UAV project about 14 years ago. And it was beyond line of sight. Actually, I can jump in a minute. It was beyond line of sight, big plane, and they were having radio communication problems. And So I got hired to come in and help with that. I was normally unemployed, so someone hired me for my radio skills.
Your
And I
expertise.
walk in and look at this plane, and you could go look it up on YouTube. It's called the TD100. And they had all the 2.5 gig and 900 meg and the 5 gig and the 3 gig communication antennas inside the fuselage. And I went, it was all painted. It was gorgeous. What's that thing made of? They go, oh, carbon fiber. And I went,
Yeah, there's your
write
problem.
the check, dude. I'm done. They go, well, what do you mean? Anyway, you know how that went. Yeah, they weren't getting a block.
You mean the
Maybe.
carbon fiber affected the radio?
Absorbs RF.
Well, Chuck, it was in a Faraday cage made of carbon fiber. It's a little different than using a mast.
Yeah.
Still carbon fiber, son.
Still carbon fiber. Well, anyhow, we're almost back with Mike. Have you guys seen James Hannibal?
I don't
I
have
saw him,
USB.
I saw him at Dayton.
I haven't seen him tonight. Oh, well, no, that was a different James. Sorry. There
Okay,
he
let's
is.
see if this works.
No,
Hey, we're on the
look
right
at that.
camera.
Look at that. It's working. It's working.
5x5 on
We have
that
an
video.
echo now.
Mike.
We have an echo now.
Oh, hang on. Just a sec.
I don't hear an echo.
There's one. Don't worry about it. Your ears aren't very good.
Steve
No.
Munich,
No,
what the hell? What in the hell? He gets an 8600 to Maestro and 2 hats and a T-shirt.
And a T-shirt.
Oh, I got a Flex T-shirt, but I had to pay for a $60 rubber chicken dinner. Well, it was rubber meatloaf dinner.
This year?
No,
not
2 years
T-shirt.
ago. It traumatized me so badly, Mike. I was like,
I hate to say, we learned later that the cook quit. I shouldn't say this out loud. The cook quit the week before, and it was not the A team at the dinner.
Oh, you had to phone a friend for the
Yeah.
meatloaf.
I think it
went
was
down to
the-
Hardee's and raided the kitchen.
I think it was the site engineer.
Yeah, we'd be surprised.
They should have
I'm
went
like,
to Denny's, right?
Oh.
Nope, not doing this again. Not doing this again. But I got a T-shirt out of it. The meatloaf was terrible.
All right. So Michael's going to talk to us about their new radio, the Aurora,
Yeah, so let me
500 water.
do this. And
Okay, do that.
Share a screen, a window, Chrome tab. Okay, that's not going to work because I didn't get it set up ahead of time. So back, let me just talk because I can't do two things
Okay.
at once. In Hamvention May, we announced a new HF radio. No big deal, but this radio called, now you've heard the word Aurora, had been in development for 6 years.
Wow.
With a number of people working on it. Can you imagine the bill it was just to get to bring some out? So I'm still amazed we can sell radios as attractively as we can, considering what's involved in getting them there. And it's called Aurora. It's a 500 watt transceiver. Okay, no big deal. It's got a power supply and a tuner, and everything's all in one case. Okay, this doesn't really get anybody really excited, right? And but it's not a 12 volt radio. So, well, what do I do with the power? Don't just put that conversation aside. What do I do if the power goes out? Have you ever run your HF radio on 12 volts on a battery? The list gets a lot smaller in a hurry, type of thing.
Right.
Today, my power went out here at the. Oh, come on!
We
Maybe it's-
can't
Looks like
get
your
real
mic was
guests.
unplugged.
It's that
Flex is
Canadian.
a-
It's that Canadian internet. I think.
Flex
Anybody
is-
want
Flex is-
anybody want a Razer Pro camera because it's going?
No,
the
apparently
technology
not. No.
Apparently
No.
not.
I'm
yes.
at a lake, so it's going off the end of the dock. So
He's at the
the-
cottage today.
well, this now I can look like I'm doing nothing. The Aurora came out, and this is a 500 watt radio with a built-in power supply, with a built-in tuner that runs adaptive pre-distortion called Smart Signal, and it uses, I guess the best thing I can say is it uses less energy than your toaster, type of thing. And if you were there and saw it, Chuck, you saw it. Remember how many amps it was drawing at full power?
It was like 8. Is that right?
It was less than that.
5, 8, then 5. 5 was my first choice.
Yeah.
So I forget.
You can bring that
It's-
screen up now. And,
6.7 is my guess.
Yeah, about 7. So it's 90, 80
Okay.
between 80 to
You just watched my
90%
video.
efficient.
Wow.
See, now I know. Now I don't have to be here. So 80 to 90% efficient. Whereas normally, if you wanted to run 20 watts, we're running about 30 or 40. I don't even think it's that good efficiency. So, but it runs okay. The next thing we get is you've got this radio sitting there, and there's the brick on key, which I'll pull that picture up, where we literally had the radio running at 100% power, which you saw. We had a J38 key, and we had a brick on it. And Chuck, you came by around lunchtime?
Yeah, I think you're pretty close to lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got a great video of it, so I'll get him to drop that
if you guys
somewhere.
if you guys haven't seen the video, make sure you check that out. And Mike explains everything. You have pictures with it, real pictures.
Does his camera work in that entire video?
Mine did.
Yeah, it did a
Mine
lot
did.
better.
It was my camera.
I'm sorry, Mike. I couldn't help it. It was
no,
buddy.
Well, 100%. I'm going to my iPad next. Okay, so anyway, so it runs cool as a cucumber. Like we had a really cool Unity infrared heat camera there. The radio was sitting about air temperature, which was maybe 70 Fahrenheit if it wasn't the windy day. And if you were there, you know it was really windy Saturday. And the heat sink, 500 watt heat sink sitting beside it was about 200 Fahrenheit. And we had that brick down on that key all day, 8 hours straight. Have any of you guys ever think of any radio you've ever wanted to use where you would run it key down, RTTY, AM for 8 straight hours? I mean, the 75 meter guys are going to love this.
Yeah.
Ape don't run his FT8 at more than 30%. So
I was just thinking of all the QRM havoc I could wreck with a radio like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I hope that one guy doesn't get it. It's on 40.
Oh my God, no.
So how does it do it? So the technology is called, it's essentially called polar modulation, and you can go look it up. You can thank, I think it's Leonard Kahn is the guy's name. It's not new technology. It was developed in about 1952.
Oh.
And then Tony, Kilo 1 Kilo Papa, wrote it up for QEX back in 2018. So you can go search for Kilo 1 Kilo Papa. Go to his QRZ page for Kilo 1 Kilo Papa and start there. In fact,
Michael, does the QDX guy use it also? I saw him.
100%. Yeah, Hans.
Yeah,
the QMX
Hans,
Plus.
Hans.
You said it was developed in 1952.
The technology, yeah.
That was the same year Jim was developed, I think.
No, Jim was 10 years later. I'm a Cuban Missile Crisis baby.
I don't know if we want to go there.
I started to, but I'm going to leave it alone.
So some of the story is you can read here on it's Polix-Tech, Papa Oscar Lima Echo X-Ray Tech, and there's a bunch of videos here, and you can read the header here that Tony written. And by the way, Tony's an active ham operator. You couldn't meet a nicer guy. And
which one's Tony? Which call?
Kilo 1 Kilo Papa.
Okay.
And on the Flex Radio YouTube site, just go to YouTube and search for Flex Radio. We've got a couple of interviews with Tony, of which I did one. And this is what he developed, this transmitter. We're looking at it here back in early days. And he actually went to all the vendors and said, hey, I got this cool technology. How would you like to implement it? And of course, they all blew him off, except Flex, because that's not what we do. We have some great meetings with some people that have some amazing ideas. There's so many, they're usually all under NDA, so I can't say anything about them. But
you guys didn't go for mine.
Which was?
I can't say. I'm still shopping.
I'm going to get my iPad, so we're getting into this one way or another.
I'm still shopping my ideas, man.
You should. So how do we do it? Well, it's a different technology under the covers. The amplifier runs instead of Class A, which is linear amplification, which is incredibly inefficient, it runs in a Class D. And you're going, whoa, how do we do that? Class D, it only works in CW and maybe, I think, AM. But
CB.
It's not going to work on sideband, is it? But it does, and that's how we keep it so incredibly efficient. There's no heat buildup. It's all in one box. And any of you guys know the weight of this thing? I think Chuck, you know, because
18 pounds.
Yeah, 18 pounds.
13 and a half.
My turkey last Thanksgiving was bigger than that.
It was.
So, Mike, that was a question. And since you just mentioned that, is this technology the reason that you guys are getting away with 18 pounds on a radio that does 500 watts? Because it's not linear amplification?
100%.
Okay. So no giant magnetron inside there.
No giant magnetron. It's got two 48-volt power supplies that run in series. So it runs on 96 volts.
It's badass.
So I challenged you guys to think of use cases type of thing. Where, and it's going to come in. I'll go back here in the slides. It's going to come in.
POTA, man.
Models. Hang on, we don't hear the audio, but it's no, that's not the transmit antenna. That's the GNSS satellite. It's funny when you
small antenna.
Any of you guys ever worked in marketing?
No.
It's hysterical because all of a sudden, you do something like this, and then somebody says at a ham fest, rightfully so, is that a new HF antenna? And I went, no, and it's a very valid question if you're a new ham operator, or you're not.
Right.
Anyway, so that's okay. And but so POTA, well, heck, am I going to drag a well, you don't need a 96 volt battery box because there's I'm swamped in my Facebook feed with these 110 volt, 2000 watt hour on wheels devices at really cheap prices. And you can't get to the 96 volt lead easily.
Bicycles for you, Michael.
And
not you, the other Michael. Tube.
Yeah. So it's just really slick. And the fact we kept it quiet that long is just pretty scary.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think people would have believed it, to be honest with you.
No, we're getting a lot.
Probably still don't. Hate.
Well, there's always. It's like anything new, right? You go.
Right.
Why is it human nature? We all do this. It is something new comes out, and the first thing we want to do is tear it apart. Okay, that's cool, but
right. Right.
And
right. It doesn't have built-in. It doesn't have built-in APRS. I can't buy that.
What? Oh, I'm out. Never mind.
That's right.
Mike, I need you to cancel that credit card.
Hang on. I'm just going to get something to put the iPad on. Keep talking among yourselves. Hold on a second.
Mike, how many amps at 120 volts? So it
we
should
talked
be less
about
than
it. 6.7.
6.7. That's right. Well, Chuck said 8 or 10, and I was like, where did we end up with that?
I started up there.
No,
I didn't want to undershoot.
I knew it was less than 10. I just couldn't remember what you said.
It's going to be half at 220.
So Michael, if you wanted to have the ultimate POTA radio, or as somebody mentioned, if you're K6ARK SOTA radio, all you need is a bicycle battery, right? And that thing will just kill it out there. You
need to produce 110 volts AC.
You need 2 bike batteries in series. I think they're about 50-volt batteries.
You need a whole bunch more.
Oh.
Okay, hang on. So this is probably...
But I also don't know what the amp rating is.
Hold on, let me turn this down.
Oh, theoretically, he's back.
Oh, this is on the iPad, so it's going to work.
You have 3 streams into the stream.
Yeah,
so you know.
we've never had this before.
I had to go get... Well, we're all friends here. I had to go get a box to put the iPad in, or it was going to be an all-day nostril type camera view.
Well, we appreciate that, Mike.
So I think now I'm a remote guy, right? So this is the perfect remote HF radio.
Yeah, because you guys are from what I've talked to a lot of guys that do a lot of remote stuff. They say by far the Flex is the easiest. And these guys run Flexes, they run Anons, all these different radios, right? And they say the Flex is the easiest to remote.
If you've sat in my talks at Hamvention or Hamcation, without me being, take this T-shirt off, if I was doing it today, it would still be a Flex solution. I think we are by far the easiest. Unless you're a network person, then the networking's the
Right.
hard part, where we've made that really easy. But if you're a network person, who cares? Okay, so you can either throw in 0 2 or do what you need to do. No big deal, because you do it all day long. But that's not 80% of our ham operators. They're
not
That is a
they don't
true
have that,
statement.
and that's
Yep.
okay. We get, and then you paint it up. Well, I know Anon makes a pretty cool radio. I call that a sort of, it's a boutique radio, because it's really slick. It does some really cool things. But as a tinkerer, I played with Power SDR a lot, and I thought that was incredibly cool. But for a contest station, it's not something I would contest with, because it's just not flowy. It doesn't. The workflow isn't there. Like, an ICOM Kenwood Yaesu Elecraft. Different type of radio, that's all. So Class D makes sense. Yeah, Lee's correct. So what else can we tell you about it? So you can see the specs down the side if you've got enough resolution. So there's 4 models based on our current 4 model series. 1 or 2 spectral capture units, which are the part the antenna hooks up to. Every radio's got 1, some have 2, and if you have a radio with 2 spectral capture units, it means you can. Hey, by the way, yeah, we do financing. When you have 2 spectral capture units, you can do it with 2 different, and you can work with 2 different antennas at the same time. Generally, it's an SO2R thing, but I find more and more just power digital operators like that as well. Because they'll be on 6, waiting for 6 to open, and then also making contacts on 20. Type of thing.
And that's 500 on 6 also, right?
No, it's not.
Or close to it.
The power tails off. No, it's about 3 dB down. It's 200 watts on 6.
Oh, okay.
Getting 6 to the power supply to run at that frequency is apparently really difficult, and you need Tony to really explain how that works. But
well, that's
so
typical with most amps. I mean, most amps don't put out as much on 6 as they do other bands.
Right. And it's in the same case as the 6000 and the 8000. So you sort of have to look in. We did some really cool lighting on the front, though. And
I'm a little jealous. It makes my 6600 look kind of trashy now, Mike.
A little trailer trash.
It's not. But the cool thing about I've been on before where we've had this conversation was, and I'm just picking on ICOM, and they make great radios. I've used all of them, and I remember when the 756 Pro came out, right? And you guys around then bought one?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, they came out with the 76 Pro, and then 2 years later, you know what they did? They came out with the Pro 2. So you sell the Pro 1 at a loss, and you buy a new Pro 2. And then 2 years, you know what they do? They got you again. Because
that's how it works, right?
That's how it works. I have my good friend Ken VA3SK still uses my 6300 I bought brand new in 2013, and he contests with it still.
Well,
the current software.
The first time you were on the show, I went on Flex's website and bought the only 6300 that you guys had, the used one, because you said, pretty damn close. And I've sold it. It's up in Iowa at other Andy's house, and he's been using it for 2 years now. He's all in. Has no complaints with that 6300. I didn't either.
And which one did you have now? You have now the 6800?
I have the 6600.
Oh, 66.
He has the 2 SCU one.
2 SCUs, yeah.
We've got this nomer about us that say, well, flex radios are expensive at $5,000. Well, certainly the Aurora is, because it starts at $61.99. But if you were walking into HRO to buy all that stuff new, you're going to spend more.
Well, that is exactly right. And I've made that point to a couple people. Unfortunately, it wasn't recorded on stream. But yeah, it's like, well, by the time you buy a radio and then go find a 500, 600 watt amp, you're already in that ballpark.
Well, if you look at it like this, like, so a good high-end radio, you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000, right? Then you tack on the price of the amp. Let's just say that's $2,500.
$5,000.
Right, you're already tickling the price of the base Aurora, right? And then you have a 500 watt tuner on there, which is another $1,500 to $2,000. So, and you have power supplies in the thing already.
Yep, power supplies too.
To
All in
me,
one
it seems
box.
like it's actually a pretty dang cheap radio for for what you get. The value proposition's huge on that thing.
I think
Yep.
it is.
I-
And the
I
tuner,
want-
now the tuner situation though, you can get a 1,000 or 1,500 watt LDG for about 400 or 500.
I think they're a little bit more than that. And
I
the
think it's a
thing
bit
is
more,
that
about 6.
LDG, yeah, as much as we love the LDGs, what they call 1,000-watt tuner when like a digital mode like FT8 is probably
Yeah,
around 400
it's
watts.
not 1,000 watts
Right.
digital, but what kind of maniac would
Can
do
you
that?
can you pop John comment up about buttons and knobs?
He likes to twist the
Gendron?
knob.
Gendron?
No, that's okay. I
Oh,
have a
well.
great comeback. And John, this is all just in fun, but
I wouldn't have told him that.
I ask people in the chat now, okay, buttons and knobs. And the Maestro doesn't have enough. I think it's just perfect. But that's just me. On an FTDX 5000, Yaesu makes one of their top end radios, or who knows, because they have multiple tops now. How many buttons and knobs are on the front panel? And we can come back to that.
Oh, shoot. I
Beats
think you
me.
said this before. It's
I got
like
no
about
idea.
40.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay attention from the last time, right?
I can't remember yesterday, Michael. Come on. 40?
118
Oh, 118. I was trying to
in
not get too
multiple levels, like a button, right? They all do.
multiple buttons. Yeah.
In 6-point font. So you know what it's like. I mean, we're all young here. Now, can you imagine, where's that bandwidth control? And you're like, I need the light and the magnifying glass. Oh yeah, it's the 7th one in, down 4. You know, and that's how I talk people off buttons and knobs that are at least over 65.
Well, I like knobs where you can kind of like use them to dial or tune stuff in. But the thing is that what I don't like I've got a Yaesu. I think it's a
John, count 3
497.
times.
Well, the buttons, you have the long press, short press, shift, long press, shift,
Double,
and
double
it's too
shift
much.
short press with the other button.
Yeah, and the damn font on them buttons is so damn. I can't, I need to
There's
get
your
my
button right
binoculars
here.
out.
There's your button right there.
Yeah.
Right? One there.
I'm
one
poking
there.
fun at them. Yeah, you could buy a flex control knob and stick it in. And I should put you guys over here, so I'm looking at my camera here. And like sitting here at my desk, I if I'm just doing FT8 or something, I actually bring up Smart SDR I'm using an M4 for Mac and do that. But if I was doing a contest, I just grab the Maestro over here and sit it down in front of me, or just use a flex control. So, but there's just so many options. It's just there's nothing perfect, right? You know, it's whatever's important to you.
We've had 2 guys count their knobs and buttons, and then they had to come back with a recount. Y'all get an abacus or something, or write it down. You can't count. It's ridiculous.
He didn't have enough fingers, man.
You lose track. I think I've done it 4 times. Steve, Reinhardt's amp, the RF2K. Reinhardt's a good friend of mine. Yeah, that 60 dB tap on the back will work just fine. Yeah. Oh, there's the NA5C. I met Steve.
Did you?
Okay, so you just answered Steve's question. Okay, good.
Yeah. So Steve and I had a great chat at Dayton, and then Steve met Steve N5AC, who's our CTO. And then Steve 1 told Steve 2 says, I have some of your QSL cards.
Well, so we wanted to hear a little bit about the smart signal and the way that when you look at your transmission, it just looks like a bar.
Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead.
I was going to say, so the question I got from a friend, and he was just asking, nothing bad. He just wanted to know if you could use other amps or, along with that to get your flex. What did I forget what you guys call it? Sorry.
Smart signal.
Smart signal.
That's right. I wrote it down too. Damn it.
You have to read it. It's like making the list before you.
I had to actually look down. You're right.
He forgot where his notes were.
It's like scribbling.
Yeah. So smart signal is adaptive pre-distortion. Let's back up even more. Every amplifier we use today, whether it's a 100-watt amplifier or 1,000-watt, is supposed to be linear, but it's not really linear.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly linear in the middle of the curve, but as you get out to the edges, it either doesn't amplify enough or it amplifies too much, usually not enough. And this is what adaptive pre-distortion is. It puts reading glasses on it, type of thing, and the software monitors the transmitted RF signal, the actual RF signal, rips it apart, and then builds an audio equalizer solution. And then it says, "Oh, you're down here, up there," and it sticks that in on the mic line. And eventually, so hey, maybe I need my 232 hertz boosted a bit, so it boosts it. Now, it might sound strange to hear it, but that's not the point. We want it clear going out the air. So that's what adaptive pre-distortion is. And so it reduces the IMD products. Those, if you use a waterfall, you see people who are a little broader than they should be, and then you see people
Especially
who
if
are a
they're
lot
close
broader,
and loud.
Yeah.
close and loud, or they've never looked at the automatic level control on the mic gain, and they dial everything to 11. Type of thing, and that'll really cause splatter because you start getting these mixing products that just make the signal wide. I've heard guys on 20 meters. It was a net control station one day, and I actually have video. He was on upper sideband. I know what radio he was using. I know what amplifier. It was an older, was not a tube amped using, and he was literally. So he should be like 3K wide. He was on the high side. He was up 9 or 12K. And on the lower side, he was down 5. I flipped to lower side because he was on 20, and I could pretty much understand what he was saying.
Wow.
Okay, and that's called, we want to be cleaner. Okay, we've spent decades, centuries getting the receivers better, but we haven't really touched the transmitters.
Well, a lot of these people don't really care, I think is the case with that.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is you take your amplified signal and you sample that, and then you loop it back in before the amplification stage and make any adjustments that need to be made in order to reduce your IMDB product, right? IMD product.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's pretty cool.
If you change power or change frequency, you got to do it again.
Sure.
And that's why we have adaptive pre-distortion. It'll just automatically keep doing it.
It does it by itself.
It does it by itself. Some are, let's say, not adaptive. You have to go push the button every time. And those are all good. And this is part of what ARRL is driving, the Clean Signal Initiative, that we are certainly part of too, and stuff.
Did you guys just release the software an update for your other ones?
Yeah.
I heard a guy talking about it yesterday.
Right. We just released Smart SDR 3.9.18, and it has adaptive pre-distortion or smart signal. I'm going to start using that name now. Built in a beta format. We're still working on it. It's
Okay.
It works. It's got some glitches, but we thought we'd release it anyway, and we'll be, we get feedback from the community, the Flex Radio community and stuff, and we'll, there's a lot more work to happen on it.
This guy was worried.
We get accused of copying Pratt's code, and we can't. It's all handwritten. It's all. We can't go find the code on the internet and use it.
So this guy's signal, tell you the truth, Michael, he was complaining that he wasn't complaining. He goes, I haven't had a chance to put it on my radio yet. But I'll tell you, the guy was like at least 20 over to me, and I think he was fairly close. His signal was not that bad without it. To tell you the truth, it was. I was looking on my 710. It was pretty clean.
Flex radios are pretty clean to start with. In the when we were starting to play with the beta software of APD or Smart Signal, which is almost a year ago, I was trying to make videos showing, okay, here's really bad and here's really clean, and I was having a real problem trying to make my 8600 really bad.
It's got to be John. Oh, it wasn't John. It was.
But you do need external hardware to pull that off, though, right?
So at 100 watts, it comes right internal to the radio. You don't need to do anything. With a Power Genius XL or a radio that's got a 60 dB, minus 60 dB tap on it, you're going to take just a RF cable, and usually they're BNC connectors, and plug it into either the transverter port or the receiving port on the back of the radio. And if you've got a 8600, you can do it on any of the 4 type of thing. Diversity can happen on the 8600 or the 6600 or the 6700. That's where you're using 2 different antennas to receive at the same time. And if you haven't tried it, it's really cool. It's not beam steering. That's a whole different technology. But in this analog diversity, which I think is far more powerful, especially in a contest type situation, you've got one receiver here and another one here. and you get a 3D effect with the signal because it walks around your head. It's really cool. And some CW ops will do that. And I think what was one of them? I'm not a big CW operator. Said he'll take one of the receivers and set it slightly off frequency or notch high, notch low type of thing to break the world up. So many ways to do it.
I made CW contact today. Just wanted to brag about it just a second. Okay, well, I'm done.
Chuck, you done flexing?
They done.
I flexed for it was on my new little single key. I got it dialed in now.
But he made the contact with himself though. That doesn't
No,
count.
it's with
He was in
our
the
buddy
bathroom.
Kyle, Mr. Flex Kyle. I made it with him.
Well, now, Mr.
yeah.
Flex is
You were on the
Mr.
phone.
Flex
Then
is
he,
right
then
up
he
there.
came back to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're 5'9". I don't want to talk to you anymore because I don't know what you're saying now."
And Kyle probably did it while he was at work.
He
Yeah.
might have.
He probably was.
He said he was remoted in. We both made contact with the youth on the air.
Oh yeah.
I got him first. His flex didn't beat me out, but my AC just kicked his butt. Might have been the distance. I don't know. But we actually did better on sideband than we did CW, which is kind of strange.
To answer Steve, the smart signal's only available at the 100-watt level. Yeah, there's still far more
On all the radios?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you can't use
Okay.
it with an amplifier. You're just feeding a cleaner signal into the amplifier to start with. So
Okay. And you had a reason why you might not want to use another amplifier on the Aurora, right? There's a kind of a big reason why you might not want to.
I can't imagine the internal discussions about this because we were totally going to disable it, and you can't do that. So you could take an Aurora radio, dial it down to 5, 10, 15 watts, and drive your whiz bang, 2.5
My donkey
kilowatt
stomper.
Yeah, donkey stomper.
That's a CB one.
But we're all capable of screwing that up one day, and you might take the front end out of the out of the amplifier, but there's a real risk of taking the back end out of the radio too, and that you're going to just have to write the check to get that fixed.
Yeah, so it's nice that my amp takes 100 watts in and my radio does 100 watts because every once in a while I forget. And I look over, I'm like, why am I putting out 1,000 at 1,100 watts, And it's like, oh, shoot. I didn't turn it back down.
And
But it doesn't hurt
about
this amp.
There's a joke about 500 watts, and it's not a joke actually. It's really true. It's the first 500 watts that are the most important. So from 500 to 1,500 is what? Not even half an S unit.
It's a 1S unit, right? 6 dB double. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. It's like 4.5, 5.
It's like 4.5. So
Why we don't math
and
on
if you guys are
YouTube.
listening here, if you've never been taught how to do dB in your head, because you need to learn 10 times and 3
Teach
and
us.
double.
Oh,
And
10 times.
I'm going to teach you here. Go. There's got to be a video on it because once you start dealing in dB, watts don't mean anything. It's really quite cool. So everybody says, well, if I'm at 500 and I need to get to 600 to make a contact, you know what? It's not making any difference. There's more QSB going on. If you make that contact, it wasn't because of the extra 100 or 300 watts. It's because of the band.
I run
Mike,
700 to 800. I'm just saying I run 700 to 800 on a 1,000-watt amp.
I run my PGXL at full Canadian sideband legal limit, which is beat the crap out of
200 watts?
2250 in sideband at the antenna, by the way.
Wow.
So, what is the lead time on 510 right now?
So the 510, there's three. There's three ordering phases. There's group 1, group 2, group
What are you
3.
laughing at?
Yeah, and what does that mean exactly?
Now, group 1 is you pay up front right now, full price, and you are in the first group sent out, and we're the target's like September of Q4, but there's a real push on to try to make it even sooner internally.
Okay.
We like, I know we have a real good history of being late, and believe me, we don't want to be late. It's expensive to be late. So and it's not good for marketing either. So group 2 is 50%. Oh, group 1, you get a hat. You get a nice Yeti mug and a jacket.
A Yeti mug and a
So
jacket.
if you remember in the early 6700 days, guys still walk around with their 6700 Flex radio jacket. So
I never got one.
Did you have a 6700?
I have a
No.
6600.
Yeah, that's why you didn't get one.
And you were supposed to send me a hat. I mean, it's recorded. It's on the YouTube, son. And Don sent me some old hat he found in the back of his garage, from somewhere. And Ape has not forgotten that hat. I have given up on ever seeing an official new Flex hat, but Ape does not give up on that. And he mentioned that earlier. I don't know if you heard that.
He still wants it. He still wants you to get it, man.
I mean, I would totally wear it. I wear my Flex shirt, but I mean, I had to pay, I had to eat that meatloaf shite for.
Because I can't get to my keyboard. Chuck, would you send me an email in the morning? I'll make sure you get hats.
Okay.
Thank you. Chuck, Chuck might forget.
He's taking it personally at this point, Mike.
He is.
I'm taking it
He
personally.
says he would never wear it,
so-
but now he's saying he will. So I'll send it to you right now.
And then group 2 is same sort of idea, except you don't get the jacket, you get the Yeti mug. That's in Great
Could you
Flex Radio.
put that on payments too? All those? Is that
Yeah, we have a bread payment program. That's a little. Andy knows that really well, but there's a risk there because I don't know if we can do this because obviously when you put something on payments, you need something collateral to hold it up, and I don't know if you can do payment up front. This is going to be. I mean, payment up front. We're taking your money type of thing and holding it in trust until your radio is ready to ship. So when it's ready,
And getting our interest. Dang it, Canadian.
Can you do a lien on my house, or would that is that something that's possible? Or
We have
Will
enough
you take a
paperwork as
kidney,
well.
Michael?
Kidney might work.
I have two. I mean, I only need one of them. So
Yeah. And then group 2 is 50%, same idea. And
but shipped later.
Shipped later after group 1 is fulfilled. And then there's a group 3, and I am embarrassed to say I can't remember what group 3 is. But
Jim, are you talking about buying this 510? Is that what's going on right now?
It's always going on in my head right now. But
See, the problem with Jim is that he would do it right now, but there's a wait list, and that he doesn't have the patience to
thank
wait
God.
out.
Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Michael
Oh,
Walker.
I'm an instant gratification guy too, right? So it's
Yeah.
okay, I get it.
If the
So if
some
you
bitch was
had one,
available, if it
Michael-
was available for shipping tomorrow, I'd be clicking it on right now on the stream live, going send it. But
That's
I
why
ain't
I
Michael,
was
if you
laughing.
had one in your persons right now and said, "This is the price," Jim would buy it.
Yeah, I don't even have mine yet. We're still between engineering, EMI testing, because they have to go to an EMI lab and be tested. And it's funny. It comes back, failed. There's a spur like at a 98.3 megahertz, and it's like half a dB above threshold.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't sell them that way
Ruh-roh.
because Ape would.
We
be
got
checking
Canadian internet.
it. Yep,
Hey, it
Canadian
ain't me.
internet just died. For change.
Mike, we love you. I don't know.
I
if
think
you
it's because
can
he's
see us.
got three feeds into the stream.
We know which one we can get rid of.
The one
don't-
that-
No, he's got video on one and audio on the other, so you can't.
oh Lord.
Oh,
Yeah, he's muted on this picture one.
he'll be back, I'm sure. Well, anyhow, let me show you guys something that James Hannibal sent me, and I was kind of waiting for him to get here. I think he's selling these, and for every one that he sells, Abe gets $1 towards a sandwich. So let me stand up here. If I get the whole thing in the screen, just say no to chops.
It's kind of Ape's face is not normally that chunky. That's Chuck's belly, but
What are you talking about? I make it filled out, man. So if you guys want Ape to eat well at next Dayton,
you
If
can
that was a
help
date
feed
all
a
time.
starving
you can
ape.
help feed a starving ape.
When I was at Dayton,
It's my
a
new
couple
favorite
weeks
shirt.
back, people were coming up to me and being like, "Hey, man, have you ever had the pork chops here?"
No way.
And I'm just like, "Son, I'm the reason you know about the pork chop." And
Excuse
all
me,
the-
I'm the reason that you know about the pork chop. And
That might be
then-
true.
But you bought it.
That
You
is
bought
true.
it for him. You did.
And
I was
we did
there.
all that publicity for them and all that stuff.
True
and
statement.
the pork chop
They
people have
raised the
not.
price on us.
They're not
I feel-
recognizing.
I feel like I should at
disrespected.
least get one free pork chop per visit, and they're not doing that.
Yeah,
So we've moved on. We've
Right.
moved on. We have the big ass burrito.
it was.
Yep. The big ass
Massive
burrito was
burrito.
pretty damn good.
Yeah,
And we
Jim
have
didn't
the,
like it as much as I
the
did.
gyro.
The gyro.
If you're from Nebraska, it's a gyro or gyro, but if
Right.
you're normal, it's gyro.
And
With the
we
tzatziki sauce.
are. You know what? I had a pork
Opa.
chop this year, and it was dry. It's dry.
Well, hell, it wasn't dry. I saw him eat it. I was afraid to get close to
It
him
was
while he
dry.
was
Throw some sauce on it,
eating.
man.
Stick your hand in there while he's got a pork chop sandwich in his face. You draw back a stump.
Look at this one. Look at Interstellar down here. He's talking about your. He might be talking about you, Jim.
Not me, son.
Isn't that your new
Well-
radio, the 7200?
I wonder if Mike got a little nervous here because we were talking about the hat and he hurried up and bailed.
I've already
I'm
sent the email, man. It's already sent, baby.
The hell with
I
the
said
hat. I
hat.
want the
And I
Yeti
said
mug.
hats.
I want the
I said
Yeti
hats.
mug and the jacket. And
That's too
yes, I would. Hail Mary, I'd probably buy the damn thing if it was available for shipping.
You know,
I could see you in your face.
You
You,
know
were
you
you
would.
were fixing to order, and then
I
then you started.
We could
I was
see your
thinking
nose.
the hard
Your nose gets a
question.
little red. Your nose gets a
Yeah.
little red when you start thinking about.
You
the
should have
money.
figured that out when I pulled up the web page and was sharing the web page.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
look,
and
they
then
do
you start
6 months
asking the hard
financing,
questions.
Even better.
How
Cool.
long is this backlog last?
Yeah. I want to be in group 1. Who do I have to
you
sleep
guys-
with to get to group 1? Because I'll do it. I mean,
You guys go to Quirky QRP and order those shirts. Okay.
We are down to just the iPad.
All right,
Wow.
all right.
The only thing you can trust.
Internet went out, so
Oh.
it gets crazy windy here.
Yep,
So,
so it was the crappy Canadian internet.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he
Rogers.
said.
Rogers, I don't
I
even know
think
what
that-
Mike is active.
It sounds like a
You sound
faraway
good.
one.
Nice, that's fine.
I just say I think that's actually when you start breaking that radio down, the price is not that bad. I mean,
it's a
think
premium radio. We're
a
not
7610 costs
yeah.
you what, 3,500?
3,500 for 7610 for a 100-watt radio. That's right. So then add an amp on. Now you're up to 5,000, 5,500 on the low side.
Yeah.
And then, like
Depends
Abe
on the
mentioned,
amp.
the tuner. You've blown through $6,100.
And it all sits in one little box on your desk. It's, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys wouldn't believe the stuff I got sitting over here to the right of me.
Great wires everywhere.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord, that's why.
wires.
Mhm.
I hate to get in the back.
I'm going to go
my
back
wife
to a
wants me
green
paint
screen
that
so you
back
can't
wall.
see this.
So this is a 6600.
Okay.
It fits in this case,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's not a whole
That
lot
thing's-
heavier.
Either you've been working out, that's empty.
Yeah, be careful.
No, they
with
don't
that
weigh
thing.
anything.
They don't weigh
And-
nothing.
And but why put the stuff on the desk anymore? Either
Yep.
just in Flex in general.
And you
When-
guys
when I-
put the switches on the front too, right?
No, we put everything in the back.
Oh,
It's a server,
My-
We got to reach around that thing.
Mine's out in the
long
shop.
ways.
My
Not a
amp,
big
my,
desk,
my
man.
tuner,
Like
my
30
radio
inches
are
long.
all out in my shop, connected to the
So-
network.
I'm rebuilding my station this summer, and there will be a building at the base of the tower. The radio will build in the building at the base of the tower. I am getting rid of over 150 feet of multiple feed lines.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Guess what? That's just raw RF lossage.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
had
both ways, works
500
both ways,
feet.
reception and
Well, and it's risk too. I mean, anything could happen to that transmission line, right? I mean, if you can, the more
Yeah.
cable reduction, the better off you are.
it's
Ape and I
funny
have
you
weed-
mentioned
That
that.
weed
Abe
whacker
and I
guy.
have yard guy issues.
Funny you mentioned that because we had a big ice storm up here in March, and so Monday I was cleaning stuff up here and getting rid of branches and stuff around the tower. RG213 and a chainsaw doesn't work well.
Ooh. All right, fellas, I
probably
got
have
to go.
150 feet.
Later,
on mine.
Danny.
Okay, James.
See y'all.
So
Mike,
it's got
thank
these.
you.
See you, Jim.
You're welcome. Take care. It's got these
Now we can
marks
talk
all the
about
way
it.
down it.
Oh, does it?
And so I sealed it with some 3M liquid tape and taped over it. And I'll cut it out, but I did go sweep it after, and you can't even see the impedance bump, and I'm right down to the core. But in HF
wow.
frequencies, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
Well, and you got beavers and everything up there in Canada too, probably
We
chewing
got a
that
few.
wire.
You have, here I have beavers. My bigger problem is at that area is porcupines.
Oh, really? They like
Yeah.
coax too?
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't see the chat.
I think I have 150 feet per leg on mine, and one of those is, well, one's 2 meter, one's 6 meter, and then the rest of it's HF. But I guess the 6 is not too bad, but the 2 meters, that's pretty long for. It's just LMR 400.
I run LMR 240 on, even though they're long runs, on 80 and 160 because it's like 1 dB loss even on the long
Mhm.
run. It's just And it's good enough for full power. So,
Was
is there any
probably not good on
questions?
my 2 meter.
Yeah.
Well, that was Jim's job. So then he left.
So he fired him.
I'm going through and
If you
looking to see
guys,
if there's.
oh, okay,
We could talk about him now.
we will.
He's so pushy.
I was showing my new shirt off. I don't think did you see the new shirt, Michael, that I got from James Hannibal?
No,
I don't
I'm
think you
trying to get back to.
Right here.
I'm
Look.
trying to get back to seeing you guys live, and I think this done button's going to blow me out. So again, I'm on only the iPad now. So
Just say no to pork chops. You guys remember? That's
if I drop
Porky
out, I'll be
URP.
If I drop out, I'll be
If they're
right
not
back.
there, then and you guys really want them, I'll talk to James and we'll make sure.
But
He said he'd be right back.
Okay.
I
I
don't
want
know
to
if
ask
they
him
actually are on
about
the store.
the final transistors when he gets back too. I know that's
Okay. Yeah. Well, a lot of that. So they're using similar stuff to the what a lot of amps are now. Only just a little. They've gone a little bit farther with it, I guess,
well, you're talking about like those 48 volt amps
with a
that
higher voltage. Yeah.
seem to be so popular. And you're just starting to see that now in the, well, I'm not just going to say that, but it's becoming more popular now in amateur radio. But them 11 meter boys have been doing that for a while.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's when the Toshibas dried up, I think.
Yeah, I
This one
think I never used. Don't go on an iPad. Don't go to chat because I can't figure out how to get back.
Well, so we
So
had a
like
question. Could you tell us a little bit about the final transistors that you guys are using in that radio?
I can't.
Oh, it's a
Okay, we're not telling anybody. I don't even know what they are. Even I asked,
Gotcha.
and Steve, you get from Steve Hicks the look, and Tony says, what I can tell you is they're less expensive than LMDOSs, and it took them a long time to find a transistor that would work as it should. They went through a lot of different types that should.
So you guys
worked.
are lasering. You're doing the China thing and lasering the manufacturer off the chip.
I haven't looked. I don't think so because it's buried. You can't get to it without taking half the radio apart. But the whole thing, the whole 500 watt PA, the tuner, the low pass filters, the bandpass filters, because there's 60 dB or 30, 50 or 60 dB bandpass filters fit in this part, like in this sort of 2/3 of the radio from my arm up. So this half up and here, and like from here to here, and it's that high.
Well, since you bring it up, the bandpass filters, they're all physical bandpass filters, right?
Yeah.
And then, how many are in there? Do you know?
So it's about on the 510 and the 510M, it's about 30 dB of band isolation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the 520, it's over 60.
Wow.
It's actually, you don't have to go add bandpass filters if you were at a field day site or anything.
Well, if you have 60 dB,
60 is huge,
right?
That's
that's pretty dang on good, and that probably helps tremendously with like signal to noise ratio and noise floor, right?
A little bit, yeah. I noticed that I think that my 600 sound, which is what I'm using now, sounds a bit quieter than the 400 I had. Probably just because the sampling is a lot more detailed, and I'm guessing why that works. Really noticeable. I have a 6500 and an HF 6V antenna, just a vertical. It sits underneath my stepper and my 40 meter. I never hear anything if I have both on at the same time.
Oh, wow.
If I run full SO2R, say on 40 and 20, and both antennas are on the same tower, and they're harmonically related, I can be calling CQ on 40 and listening on 20, and I don't even hear myself.
Wow.
And that's on one radio with two different feed lines. And I have a video on YouTube in the Flex channel that shows that. Now, if I get up to the exact second harmonic, so say I'm at 7150.
Right.
Okay, well that's 14,300. I never go that high anyway. But you get up there, yeah, you're going to see the second harmonic, and you're going to hear it. But you're still. I think I had to get within 30 or 40 kilohertz of it before I even noticed it. Maybe 20. It was really impressive. But the video's on YouTube, so you can go to the Flex.
I have to check that out.
What's your channel?
Flex Radio.
Just Flex Radio.
Yeah. Okay, and it's under SO2R sample or something like that.
SO2R.
Chuck's writing that down next to his other note.
But he's not
The
going to
other
read
one,
it.
yeah. Well, I do that all the time. I find notes and I'm like, I don't even know what this goes to anymore.
You know what, Chuck? It only gets worse.
I'm probably
The other
with you,
day we
dude.
have a recipe on the side of the fridge, and I'm looking at it, and I go, I wonder what this was for.
Right.
Steve's asking the hard-hitting question.
when it's ready. I'm not being a smart ass either. It's just sort of, I've lived in the software world. We want to do it as quickly as possible. So, it's, in all reality, I haven't talked to that team in a month, so I don't know if they've made a huge headway or not. So,
Yeah.
What is he
In the
saying?
fire
HM2.
what's HM2?
I don't know what HM2.
That's Hermes light too.
So flux, other than power, what is a flux drive make us buy? Oh, well, you get a radio built in North America, or at least the United States. I think you have to look a little farther when it comes to a flex radio, and that's the entire station integration is really easy. So we've been pretty hamstrung with every other radio I've used before, where you ran a USB cable to a computer, everything's got to run on the computer, and then the computer's got to drive everything as you got crazier and did more stuff. In a flex radio, you can set it on the network. You can have two different people use the radio at the same time. You could do your logging on one computer, your FT8 on another computer, your N1M on a third computer, because having it available as an Ethernet device makes it incredibly scalable to just get it in different ways. I could have, and I've done it here. I've had the Maestro going in a contest, and then I've been on the Mac, doing something at the same time on the same radio, but different processing as well. And we don't have to have the radio on the desk anymore either. So as we said earlier, so anything that's got a USB cable, you're generally keeping it within 6 feet. Yeah, there's a way to make it longer, but it's, the reliability goes down. I know, like, go back to Power SDR if you played with that in the Flex 1500, 3000, and on, I guess, as well. Getting the data, the audio management done was pretty complicated for digital modes with a virtual audio cable and the bridging and stuff. I mean, I was amazed when I finally got it to work, but Flex is much more designed to be a plug and play radio, and until they did that back in early 2010, they were forever out of the ICOM Kenwood Yaesu Elecraft customer set, because those people want to buy something, plug it in, turn it on, and essentially have it work.
Right. I think the Anon's on Thetis though now. That most of the people.
Right.
I think it can run multiple types though.
Yeah, and I haven't played with it, so I'm a little uneducated. But that's
the
a
Thetis
very
is pretty. It's pretty computer. It needs a lot of computer.
Yeah, and we don't. And we're a thin client, meaning all the work's done on the radio, the one I'm leaning on. And that's why you can use an iPad or an iPhone or any computer that's on sale at Costco to be an incredibly good HF radio computer.
So my little 12-volt laptop will work it probably, huh? I know.
Surface.
I also have the. Yeah, Ape knows which one that one is. I bought it off of him.
Yeah, it's not worth talking about.
$5.
It's the $49, the crap
49.
top.
The crap tops.
I can't believe he carries it around like that thing. I was waiting for him to blow out an O-ring or something like that.
Well, I think I had Chuck it. Didn't I have it in your video to come back and lift it underneath it? Did we do that?
Maybe.
I did that with a lot of people.
I don't know. I don't remember that, but
oh my
he might have wrote it down. He might have wrote it on his list.
Right. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Make sure Mike lifts the radio with one hand.
That was bugging me. Now I'm not inverted.
Now you're not inverted.
The Flex radio was mirrored. See, nobody notices anymore because we're just used to it. Like, people get on cameras and their t-shirts.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. That kind of bugs me. We used to have a guy.
Well, they do it so that if I want to reach to the window, it looks like on the camera I need to go this way, but the window's here. It's just somebody in their right mind. I'm sure they have meetings about this.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking if you have any plans to put out UHF and VHF products. I'm going to go with no.
We'd love
All right.
to. There isn't a meeting that goes by when we all get together, like at a hamvention or something. When are we going to do a VHF and UHF?
I PA a lot. I looked also. It wasn't there. I have to talk to him about it.
It's
a custom. It's a custom thing.
It's on the lists. Like it's the type of thing we still want to do it.
But when you have projects like
effective?
when you have projects like the Aurora, I'm sure that you don't want to detract resources away from that to work on something else.
A whole bunch of things. We really want to. If you've ever worked in a company where you have a bean counter, because okay, what's it going to cost to develop? How many man hours? Okay, so that's $1.5 million. Or like, I don't think you can develop a radio today without spending a couple of $1 million.
Oh, China can.
Yeah, and look what you get.
They have to feed those kids, though, man. They gotta feed those kids.
And
it's expensive. They eat a lot.
And then can you sell enough to recoup? Okay, my internet's back up on the real computer. To recoup your costs. Maybe you sell enough commercial government stuff to pay for it, but this is
So you guys don't.
And
you guys are doing the we charge the government this much, so we have to charge you this much. You guys don't do that thing, do you?
Oh no. But we do some pretty cool, and I can only hear like 1/10 of the stuff we're doing in the commercial world. At the government world, I can't say anything. Even what I know, I'm probably not supposed to know. But I do know that we have to deal with. I've forgotten the name of the program, and you'll have listeners that know this. If the government sends you a quote to do something, they can make it a deal where it's related to national security or whatever. They just put that rubber stamp on it. And if we take the contract, then we have to put them at the top of the list with other government stuff. And then you rate it. Is it, in a scale of 1 to X type of thing. So you'll have listeners that know exactly what that's about.
Well, hey guys, we're at the top of the hour, and I think a couple of us got to get running. So
I got to go over to Ham Radio Workbench.
I want to hold you up. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
We really appreciate it, Michael. You're always a good guest. Always.
If you have any questions about Aurora, want to know more, please email us at which camera am I on? At aurora@flexradio.com.
Okay. You guys get that?
We'll post that in the show notes too.
Andy will get back to you. And there is no stupid question or anything. And we'll be happy to work with you on it. And there's a bunch of stuff on the webpage, and there's comparison charts, and there's a ton of videos.
Also, we already talked about the little antenna on the back. It's not an HF antenna, guys. So don't ask that question.
You can ask it.
Okay, you can ask it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you. And thanks to everybody in the chat. We'll talk to you guys next time.